What's up, everybody? This is Aaron over at Flex Machine Tools, and we're here to talk to you about another customer demo that we did here recently on our FlexCNC G-Series machine. We had a customer that sent in some A572 grade 60. It's 16 inches long by 8 inches wide, and it's about 1 inch thick. So in this video, we're going to talk about the setup that we did to machine this part, and also the tools that we use to do it. So due to the size of the material and the fact that, as you can see, we're putting some through slots in, the part was a little bit too big for our standard 6-inch skirt vise. So what we needed to do was get the material lifted up off of the machine bed so we could get our tools down through it. So what we did was we used the edge of the part and indicated the part straight along the x-axis, and then used some sacrificial pieces of aluminum to get the part off of the machine bed. And then what we did was just put some toe clamps around the outside of the part to make sure that the part wasn't going to move as we were machining it. So when we were going through the programming of this part, trying to figure out the right tool for this job and this material, we reached out to our friends right down the road at Kyocera to see what they would suggest for this material. And they actually gave us two different suggestions, and we wanted to test out both. So they suggested using the EM1000. This is a two-fluted indexable tool. The nice thing about this tool is it has ramping capabilities. We can drop it full depth and come around and finish the wall of that particular feature. The second tool they suggested us to use was the MFH-MAX. This is a 3-fluted indexable roughing high feed mill. What we'll do is we'll use this tool to rough in the counterbore and the through slot. Because it is a roughing tool, we'll have to come back with the EM1000 to finish those features. The first tool that we ran was the EM1000. The nice thing about this tool, it's a 2-fluted indexable tool with ramping capabilities, and we can also use it to finish the wall of the features like we did for the counterbore slot. So what we did was we started on the counterbore slot, ramping down through the material. We were able to ramp up to over 1/2 of an inch down through this material. We were running about 1700 RPM at about 17 inches per minute. So we ramped through the counterbore slot and then came and ramped out the through slot. And then we were able to then turn around and use the same tool to finish the counterbore slot to the dimension that was called out on the print. So the second tool that we used was the MFH-MAX that they suggested using to rough out the slot. Now, because it is a roughing end mill, we would have to come back in with the M1000, which was the first tool that we used, to then finish the through slot and then the counterbore slot. So we did the same process. We used the MFH-MAX to rough out the counterbore slot and then drop down to rough out the through slot. We ran that tool at about 3,800 RPM and about 137 inches per minute, taking a ramp depth of about 90 thou. So we got both features roughed out and then came back in with the EM1000 and finished both the through slot and the counterbore. So just kind of my overall thoughts on how this demo went and how the machine handled the tools that we ran. Very happy overall with how everything went. We kind of had a little concern going into it with the EM1000 ramping over 1/2 inch through the material. Wasn't quite sure how the machine was going to handle that. From an overall standpoint, I thought it handled it well. From a programming standpoint, we probably could have made a couple changes to kind of clean up the surface finish on the first slot that we did. Knowing that the EM1000 can finish the feature of the walls of the slots, what we tried to do is we tried to get the through slot out to size as we were ramping down through the material. And because we didn't have a whole lot of support in the center of the piece, we did get a little bit of chatter as we were taking that big ramp depth through there. So again, from a programming standpoint, we could have left a little bit of material for a cleanup pass. But overall, the feature, looks great, came out to size. Now, we've run a lot of the MFH tools from Kyocera on our machine, so didn't have a whole lot of concern going into it there with that tool, and it ran great, it sounded great, kind of exactly what we expected with that tool. So from an overall standpoint, thought the machine handled the demo really well and the tools that we ran, and we thought that it came out pretty good. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing to our channel. Leave a like on this video. Drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys, and we hope to see you guys in the next video.